More bad news for the US dollar as Russia lays out plans for an independent BRICS financial system. That means that more of the world's money will just go around the US economy that is already limping, in pain, and insolvent. Now, why are they doing that? Because the US, we did it to ourselves. We sanctioned our way out of the game. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Now, over the weekend, speaking at the 12th World Peace Forum in Beijing, the Russian ambassador to China, Igor Morgulov, said this: "We are leaving the space dominated by the dollar and developing mechanisms and tools for a truly independent financial system. Its creation is not possible in the near future, but the steps taken in this direction are obvious." Now, he said that the countries that are game for this new system outside of the US dollar are Brazil, Russia, obviously, India, China, South Africa, Ethiopia, Iran, and Egypt. We've also seen interest from other countries such as Argentina. Now, why would they do this? Well, because the US has not been a neutral arbiter of international trade. On the contrary, we're a bully. Here's what Russian state media TASS says: that the US uses sanctions and dollars as a weapon for political goals. That is true. The quote at the bottom, he says, "The United States and its allies use illegal unilateral sanctions as a tool of coercion against those like Russia who do not agree with the use of the dollar as a weapon to achieve political goals." Now, it's hard to argue against that. We, in fact, do this, even though it's against our better interests. Why? Well, recently, Representative Thomas Massie told Tucker Carlson that being the world's currency allows us to survive this incredibly high national debt that we run on this clock behind me at this very moment, right? Why can we operate with a national debt like that? Because of our privilege of being the world's currency, but we don't take that privilege very seriously. We weaponize it, and if we don't stop that, then we have to actually deal with this debt behind me. Here's how he explains it. Watch.
Right now, we're able to finance it because we're the world's reserve currency. And when we print more money, which we're doing all the time, the Fed is doing that, we're actually taxing the world. Everybody in the world who holds dollars gets like a 3% transaction fee. I say we're kind of like the credit card at the gas station that gets 3% because you're using that credit card.
Right.
Well, we get 3% from inflation we cause because the world is using our currency. And we can do that as long as they use our currency. But I think it's going to end. At some point, they're going to quit using our dollars as reserve currency. I mean, I watched your interview with Putin, and one of the things, whether you hate him or not, one of the things he said that is true is when we sanctioned him, before we sanctioned Russia, 70% of their transactions were in U.S. dollars. And after the sanctions, it's less than 20% of their transactions are in U.S. dollars. So what we're doing with all these sanctions, ironically, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Every time we sanction a country and say you can't use our currency to have a transaction, we're taking away our ability to charge them 3% for that transaction, because when we print 3% more dollars, we're just taking that money.
And we're also sending a really clear...
Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. It's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem in the name, Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful light preaching this word and truth and sincerity on the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will, with another video to edify and I don't know what I'm going to label this just yet, but as you see, America is being pushed out of the way. Babylon the Great is being taken out of the way by the Lord first and foremost in these other nations, right? That American dollar is about to fall. And once that falls, like the scriptures say, rich man's confidence and it says, Proverbs 10 and 15, it says, the rich man's wealth is a strong city. The destruction of the poor is his poverty. And this, you know what? I gotta read Proverbs 18 and 11. It says, the rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as an high wall in his own conceit. Right? So this devil's wealth has been able to be his confidence to go throughout the earth and do all these things. And that's being rooted out. That's being rooted out to the point where all these nations are leaving everything that this devil had. Right? This is Job 20 and 21. It says, you know what? I'll start at 19. It says, Because he had oppressed and forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away a house which he built not, and he did this in all nations. First and foremost, he did it to the Israelites, but he went through all the earth doing this. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. And we're seeing that quietness is being taken from him. All these nations are going outside of the American dollar to be able to make a whole new system outside of Esau, Edom, and all of them want their currencies to have a digital standard, which is going into the infrastructure for the mark of the beast, which is that implantable CHIP, right? All these nations are, and they're cutting Esau out of the way. You heard them. They said, like, I think she said 70% of all trade was at one point done in U.S. dollars. Then when all the sanctions hit, they went down to 20. Well, all these nations are making a pact. And Russia said a main criteria to be able to join the BRICS nations is that you had to stand up against, American sanctions and those unilateral moves that they do, right? It says, verse 21, it says, there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. And nobody's looking for what America has to offer anymore. Everybody's going their own way. Everybody's taking their ball and going home, right? We're seeing this, and it's a prophecy, right? The scriptures talk about those that ate his bread. This is so like my demon was calling. This is Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. And all these nations had a form of peace with America. Remember, the scriptures talk about Psalms 83rd chapter, right? Talking about all the nations that made a league with Edom, right? There's another scripture that talks about let me find it. Yeah, this is Lamentation 2:16. All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found. We have seen it. So all these nations had a league, and they were waiting for the downfall of Israel. So when they came into power, they had this newfound brotherhood and wickedness. And they agreed upon the destruction of Israel. But now, all those that ate that bread with this devil, right? Back in Obadiah 1:7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You see? All those that ate this devil's bread are now leaving it. And this is a wound. And you're talking about America is depending on, the transaction fees that they charge all these nations to use their currency. Well, when you have somebody that pulls away your ability to cover that debt, what happens? Extreme hyperinflation happens. Uncertainty in the marketplace. Upheaval. You're going to have crime shoot up. A collapse is going to be abysmal here, man. Right? It's going to be crazy, man. You talk about the Great Depression. This is going to outshine that by spades. And they don't even really go in to the full-on history of what really went on during the Great Depression. Right? They don't even go into that history and explain all the crazy shit that was happening. So we're coming down to a time where it's going to happen all over again. The scriptures talk about the money felling in Egypt. And then you got to go to Ecclesiastes. And 1 and 9, this is the thing that had been, is that which shall be. That which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So these things, these events are going to recycle themselves. Right? History repeats. And you're getting ready to see that American dollar come out. Right? Because America's coming down. This is Isaiah 47:1, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Talking about America, right? Why is it a virgin? Because this place hasn't been hit by a real war. Sit on the ground. There's no throne. You see? That kingly position, that queen-like position that this place had. The scriptures talk about, they said they sit a queen. Revelation, let's get that. Because Revelation 18:7, it says, how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. And this place is lived deliciously off of debt. The scriptures talk about make not bank. Let's look at that. This is Sirach 18:33. It says, "Be not a beggar by banqueting upon borrowing, when thou hast nothing in thy purse, for thou shalt lie and wait for thine own life and be talked on." You see, this place has made banqueting upon borrowing. Right? This is why in Revelation 18:7 it says how much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. So they really believe that this system of being able to sanction the entire world, beat them down as pieces, right? Take their goods, freeze their accounts, that a system and these nations wouldn't pull together at some point, but what it was in the Lord's plan. Back in Isaiah 47:1, it says, "Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans." And the reason why it says the Chaldeans, because in the Babylonian Empire, right, the Chaldees were the chief sorcerers, and this place is full of sorcery. "For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone, grind the mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover thy thigh, pass over the rivers," meaning expose this place. "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So the Lord is breaking this place down and getting it out the way. And that's what you heard in this video. The systematic breakdown of Esau's system. the rich man's wealth. Shalom.